With puma, fan apparel is planned. With jaguar, jog along and joke. With cheetah, cig a ratty smoke. I tried a year of this resort. This is what I now report. With leopard, I got in a spot and feared to bear his stripes a lot. With him I'll no more share my cot, for on my neck his breath blows hot. Oft oscillates old Ocelot, as lithe as Lance of Lancelot on jousting day in Camelot. So speed he spins, he can't be spot. He turns on tail, then tells of turns, regaling you with tales that churn and turn your tummy into goo. And that's what Ocelot opts to do. When Cheetah chucks his catechism and speeds on off to cataclysm, with Cheetah, if you then would speak, be chary of his huge physique. Be wary not to raise his peak. For cheating Cheetah may not play a game that's fit and fair, but fey, and you may make a tasty brew. Your blood and bone a pasty stew. And if you dare to speak with line, you'll never do well to accuse of lying, because his pride won't stand you prying. In his maw and paw you soon be dying. So coive his mane with catacomb, yea, laud his name in Catalan, nay, soothe his skin with calamine, and tell him true, you're Palamine. But bear in mind, the chat with these most fearsome felines has its fee. For felines fair, so fierce and fey, and online fees they never pay. Not ever hear a call to text. A Facebook sneer and vent, I'm vexed. At telltales, neither male nor female ever pause to pull out email. For texting simply not their type. And email to tales or humorous tripe. So if with cats you choose to chat, then you must risk what these cats chew. That's you. Now, if I got poems about cats, I have to have one about dogs. This is called Choosy Choosy. It's about a dog I really did once have. My grandmother came to visit, and he chewed her toothbrush. My grandmother went away. My grandmother came back to visit. The dog chewed her toothbrush. I don't understand. Okay, this is called Choosy Choosy. I once had a dog who loved to chew. And what did he chew? He'd chew on shoes. He'd refuse my cues to rightly choose, nor list to the list of what to eschew. And who's the shoes that he'd abuse? He'd usually choose my shoes to chew. When told to heel, he'd then reveal the disdain he'd feel along his keel, and away he'd peel in search of a steal. A well-tanned meal with a sole or heel, or leathery tongue well brown like veal, a meal he'd down with admirable zeal. So how to keep my hobnails whole, how to cure my ailing souls, when churlish teeth tear tatters and holes, wreck warp and wolf has tracked by trolls, that cur is a sinner, skin's his goal, and there's no saving the skin-fixed soul. How many know there is a balm in Gilead to save the sin-sick soul? Okay, there it is. All right, now in Israel, we go every 2 years, Geneva groups. Last time we took 51 people. It was amazing. Anybody on that trip? Nobody in the room. You've all not survived. Okay. And our particular guide in Israel is an Israeli man named David Tal. David, of course, David in Hebrew. Tal means Jew, D-E-W. And David Tal is tall. So here's a bit of whimsy in a Seussical mode that I wrote for David Tal back in January in a Seussical moment. Now, you also have to understand that in Israel, the main archaeological sites are called tells. You can guess how this poem is going to unfold. A tell is like a birthday cake, a layer cake. One city gets destroyed, and they level it and build the next city on top. So when the archaeologists are digging, the topmost layer is the most recent civilization, and down you go. This was discovered by a guy named Schliemann back in Troy in 1830-something, where he discovered 21 levels of Troy. So that's called a tell. All right, this joke's too easy. This joke I tell. A tell is a mound that tells a tale that amounts to a fine account, a tale of a mighty town that fell. You start with a hill by a well or a spring, and you level that hill of everything, and build a fort where a town may dwell, to rise and rule over hill and dell. My next joke easy, about a bloke called Tall. The bloke in this joke is David Tall. He's no King David, this David's tall. About 6'2", as far as I can tell. He tells of tells. He tells them swell, regaling us with tale upon tale of tear upon tear in their rise and fall. Like a baker's cake, cries David Tall. No man can tell such tales so well as David Tall, who tells of tells. Tall tells of tall tales. He, Tall, tells. And it's no tall tale that Tall tells. He put that on his website. I felt vindicated. Now, next is 4 very serious poems called Adam's Dust. I wrote them this past summer, 4 sonnets. Now, I mentioned sonnets already. A sonnet is 14 lines in iambic pentameter. That means da-da, 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 da-da. 5 beats, at least 10 syllables, and it's soft hard. So da-da, da. That's the iambic, and 5 beats the pentameter. And you've got to have 14 lines. Typically, 2 sets of 4 to set forth a problem, another set of 4 to set forth a resolution or even a solution, and then a final rhymed couplet in ironic paradox. And certain rhyme schemes are available. So if you do all that, you've got a sonnet. It's a pretty tough row to hoe. So here is Adam's Dust, and they're spoken as if by 4 different biblical characters. The first is Noah. No guilt in dust, of dunnish beige and brown, they say young godlike Adam bore no guilt. But the god-dogged earth, that lowly clay and silt, was highly born as a golden gilded gown. That from his birthless birth renowned, from his earth, now red with glinting gold endowed, no earthly creature cringed or fled, but bowed, and so his clinging dust proved kingly crown. The blessed beast bent low to worship him, then raised their blissful hymns in Adam's praise, to lilt their best and beatific lays in the light that shone from Adam's dust undimmed. His dust, no rusting idol image made, their trust through him to God true homage paid. The next, though born of dust, is on the lips of St. Paul. Though born of dust, young Adam bore no guilt, but did his dusty innocence well thrive against the machinations hell contrived, lest by Eden God's Jerusalem be built. By the eve of earth's 6th age, says sacred writ, he reigned over beast and bird and burgeoning whale, and reigning even over chaos he prevailed, as steeds must heed the rein and bridle bit. How long? A day, an age, an aeon blessed in bliss. Yes, bliss. And then he longed for more. Yet innocence untested is never sure as virtue's proven worth when sorely pressed. He pressed for even greater gift in test, and resting it, he lost fair Eden's rest. Next, on the lips of Enoch. Though framed in goodly form, the sage related, and godly though the image that he bears, and flamed in godlike power as mages swear, even Adam's god-daubed clay grows antiquated. His morns and eves they mount in vast array, till she who was first to sin is first to die. Nor can he rescind what each had done awry. So he mourns for Eve through many a night and day. He dies. But is his dying God's defeat? If God's defeat, is death now deified? Or shall God himself death's victory defy, and from defeat ordain redemption's feast? Is Adam's dust but woe unmitigated? Or must earth see it rise, reanimated? Fourth and last of this set, on the lips of John the Revelator. The earth bides gentle as the verdant grasses grow. Above rise petals of every ardent hue. Beneath hides clay, resilient, in seeping dew? What fervent powers lie sleeping deep below? The bones of ancient men to dust reduced, calcined, atomized, strewn by winds, by vapors, till not one iota bodes by his antique neighbor, and one man's body salts 1,000,000 miles, loosed into silts, seas, slates, grounds, granites, and that granite grated, ground again to grains, till pulverized, erased, all trace of his bliss or pain, and from that 1,000,000th mile no bridge to span it. Yet now, atoms, called from the billions by a mighty choice, Adam, recalled to life by almighty voice. Skipping the, okay. A poetization of Psalm 23. You'll see on your page the Hebrew text, which I will not read. You'll see a formal equivalence translation, which is pretty much word for word, into English. You'll see a functional equivalence, which is how we would say it in our own native rhythms. Rhymed meter. This is how the RPs would sing it. Here's the rhymed meter. My Yahweh God, He shepherds me, and so I have no want or need. He lays me down in fields so green to quench my thirst by quiet streams. When fainting in the noonday heat, my spirit with refreshment sweet He soon supplies, so that I rise with strength renewed and avid eyes. He leads me well so that my way goes right and true. I do not stray. And so His high and holy name shall rise in honor, glory, fame. And even deep in darkest dale, His mighty deeds must ever prevail. Though deathly powers jibe and jeer, my God walks with me, lest I fear. No protest sounds from any foe. They look on me, but work no woe, while God, my shepherd, sits me down to dine at feast and festal crown. His sweetest oil upon my brow anoints my head in sacred vow. With purest water, fresh as snow, He fills my cup, it overflows. The kindness of my shepherd king, His goodness too I gladly sing. They follow me in all my ways. With Him I'll live for endless days. I was blessed to be invited to go to the Philippines with the Genevans in May of 2014. We left on Mother's Day. There's my wife. That's her graduation photo with her master's degree in library science from Clarion University. And I went to find a Mother's Day card. Graduation was Saturday. Final exams were, the last one was Friday. Okay, so Friday giving exams, Saturday's graduation. Sunday is departure. We're reporting to the parking lot behind Alumni Hall at 2 in the morning. Our flight is to leave at 6 a.m., something like that, for the Philippines. Okay, so can I find a Mother's Day card? No. Okay, so this is called From 35,000 Feet, a Mother's Day card to Sue Ann. I searched to find a card for you, dear wife, our children's mother. I searched, but it proved hard to do. Not this card, nor its brother. I scanned the cards from queue to queue, from one row to another, but no card seemed to say it true. Not this, nor any other. The first was flamed with flowers fair, its rhymes were weak and trivial. The worst was born without due care, its rhythms unconvivial. The pharmacy on College Hill, its cards sell for $1. $1 seems too slight a bill, they're pink, too pale a pallor. So down the hill to the Rite Aid store I drove on Friday morning. Their greeting cards proved oh so poor, their poetry unadorning. On Sunday morn in moonlight pearled, we bid farewell so sweetly. I since have flown round half the world on wings of wind so fleetly. I fear that Mother's Day is past back home in Pennsylvania, but midnight shadows not yet cast out here in Southeast Asia. Even though I found no card for you, dear wife, our children's mother, This Mother's Day I think of you, and of no other. I'm really such a sentimentalist, aren't I? Okay, so there's my family and my granddaughter, and she's got stickers on her face. That's not measles. Okay, so my son Nathan, my daughter Naomi, and my granddaughter. All right, now domesticities sometimes lead to certain degrees of irritation. That's life. Okay, this is called nothing without much ado. All apologies to Shakespeare are intended. Ever since I said I do, a deed of such adoring, there is nothing without much ado, and much ado about nothing. For to the minds that mind will be, for minding all that needn't be, or as before I minded me, no other mind to peeve me. But now I mind, and minded am, and mindfully I will it. So here's your cup of tea, my dear, and mind you well, don't spill it. Apostrophe to contraction. Now you may not know that apostrophe is a literary form in which you address something absent as if it is present, and often the absent thing is inanimate, and you address it as if it's a person. So that's an apostrophe in classical Greek poetry and classical English poetry, and there's some jokes here. Okay, so here's it goes. A literary type I often see that's known as an apostrophe. Apostrophe is supposed to punctuate a sound once said, but now it ain't. Yep, it's the missing link of letters. Contractions mark them so it's better that ellipsis dots eclipse deletions. These letters pop out by collisions. So praise to you, O contraction great, but why so absent, why so late? I know a lady who's tightly keyed to a distress in presence emergence need. That needs the need of timely action, and a child feeling some long distraction. Like at a school where they learn you how to spell, she's wanting that full-hearted child expelled. So forgive me that wretched act of redaction, and act with fetching tact contraction, and act your part with a full and hearty heart. How about now? 4 minutes apart? Now, how many are familiar with Shakespeare Sonnet 116? And you can quote it as soon as I say that number. Okay, 1, 2, 3, okay. So this is one that starts, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. It's Shakespeare's greatest love poem from the 150 sonnets, because he thought he was writing the sonnet of love poetry. So this is my take on Shakespeare, a marriage of true minds. A marriage of true minds no impediment admits. For this, once vowed, avows itself amiss, if its vows and consonants announce mere myth. 'Tis inconstant, disavowed, renounced. Love's kiss may kiss once for a moment, then is missed. Yet is missed for its own constancy, which is bliss. The kiss that is not love proves viper's hiss. Love's kiss moves heaven, as Dante's Beatrice. Inconstant man I am. A pilotless bark may wander in its plight beneath a dark or starry night. I seek the sacred ark, that whether by high and worthy star, or stark and withering storm, I may reach the port and rest, and knowing at last that I have loved, be blessed. What? Because it's almost 9:30, and I didn't realize that till just now. But I cannot skip Jazzy Lady on page 29. I've got to do that. Jazzy Lady. How many know Betty Douglas? How many have heard Betty Douglas sing jazz in humanities classes? How many engineers were experiencing jazz for the very first time in humanities classes? Okay, so Betty Douglas, she was my humanities prof a way long time ago, and now she sings jazz. So Elizabeth Ash Douglas, her full name. Her face ingrained in walnut hues. Her tones, the strains of jazz and blues. Her tune, she scats to the saxman's cues. She lilts, she shouts, she growls, she coos. She slings a note. It swings askew, it stings, and then she sings it true. And true's the tale, though black and bruised, where blues and pays its gospel dues. Her rhythms rise and writhe and rhyme. She syncopates in dotted time, and justed grace and peace entwine. Her vining themes ply line by line. It's hard when young to sing the blues. She's rung the years in prayer and pew, and placed her bets and lost a few, and dug the ashes for the clues. So mix the sorrow with the song, and hope tomorrow shall belong to flights of sparrows waxing strong when God sets right a world so long. Skipping a whole lot. How many more minutes can I go without trying everyone's patience? Or have I done that already?
No, give us another poem.
All right, can I do 3? I'll end in 3.
Okay.
All right, okay, so Jabbok, page 32. I started this while in the kingdom of Jordan, and we just crossed the Jabbok River. And the Jabbok is the place where Jacob had his wrestling match, and named the place above that river Peniel in Hebrew, face of God. In Hebrew, the letters for Jacob and the letters for Jabbok are the same letters. For my Hebrew scholars in the room, Yod, Bet, Kof. That's Yod, Bet, Aleph, Ayin, Kof, pardon me. And Jabbok has 3 of those same letters. So Jabbok and Jacob. The poem begins in iambic meter and ends in trochaic meter. And trochaic is a limp. Here goes. We saw the setting sun's array on Jabbok River late today. From high upon a towering hill, the deep cleft carved from Gilead's rills. For here it was that Jacob fled when sorely pressed, divinely led, no longer home in Aram's land, and soon to meet dread Esau's band. At Mahanaim he made 2 camps, lest Esau seize them all and clamp and spill the blood of Jacob's lambs, extinguishing the holy lamp. They crossed the ford beyond the crest, first one camp, then the rest. On Jabbok only Jacob stayed, to ponder lonely, perhaps to pray. Then came a mystery by night, a faithful friend, a fearsome plight. By awesome strength was Jacob grasped, yet Jacob answered well and clasped his mighty foe with mighty grip, and neither might escape, nor slip, nor rip the groping arms away, nor overcome till coming day. The mystery then spoke aloud, before the sun, beneath the clouds. Proud Jacob, you must yield and give. You cannot look on me and live. I will not yield, not till you give your blessing, sealed by oath and living flame, the fire of God upon this gyring Jabbok rinks abyss. Between abyss and blessed desire, Jacob felt the mystery's fire touch his thigh, the joint dismembering, Jacob evermore remembering, time disjointed, bent between endless night and dawning scene, broken man, saint overawed, Jacob rasping, grasped by God. So from Jabbok, Jacob limping, sun arising, staff now gripping, made his way down toward the Jordan, soul and song no more discordant, made his way to meet his brother, who remembering father, mother, saw in Jacob he no other, one to clasp as kin recovered. Jacob having clasped the mystery, nevermore to grasp at mastery, gained the God of faithful fathers, pledged his troth to trust forever. Now Jacob's name is grasping, cheating, Jacob limping, body beaten, on the Jabbok left behind him, ill reminding names so blinding. Mystery wrestled on that ledge, maiming Jacob, parting in pledge. To name myself is not my will. Your master's name is beyond your skill. Naming is my right, no others. This your birthright, not your brother's. God and man, you've wrestled well. Thus I name you Israel. 2 recent paintings of the wrestling match by Jack Fulton, an older painting of the wrestling match, 19th century day. And I'm going to skip a whole lot of pages. Oh, that's a name. Okay. All right. So this is one of my Israel poems called New York Aviva, page 38. We're almost done. This is a bit of doggerel. Yeah, dogged doggerel. And now to understand the poem, you got to know that the name Newark, like Newark, New Jersey, was originally a Puritan name, New Ark of the Covenant. New Ark. All right. So here's the poem. It's called New Ark Aviva. We're on an ark, a newish ark, that soars an ark and scores an ark upon the globe as if by Jove. No Noah's ark, our high sky lark. We do not do so 2 by 2. No cubits cubed, our ark's a tube. 2 silvery wings and slithery skin. That ark's a span because it can. So first I'm scanned and then I'm canned, and candidly, can they do this to me? I'm just a rube inside a tube. Is this all planned? Why not expand? It's plain to see from plain to see, and pain I see for he's and she's, our hims and hers fare worse and worse. Let's not reverse, but I'm averse. And airfare's cursed is wayfarer's verse, plainly expressed. When plainly expressed, I'm not impressed, I'm pressed. Long after we leave and bound towards eve, all atoms smashed, my eardrums mashed. Oh, please believe me, relieve and ease me. Though still alive, I need revived. For long's the arc of this long arc from Tel Aviv unto Newark. Now, if you've seen me cringe at loudspeakers, you know that I have something wrong with my ears. It's called hyperacusis. And this speaker is okay right now. Though Zach's turning it down. He knows. All right, so electronic sound is like knives or baseball bats against my head. Hot knives into my ear, baseball bats against my head. I would almost rather be punched. No, don't do it. But I would almost rather be punched than have an acoustic shock. If I had a single acoustic shock, I could be gone for the day and unable to function. A 5-year-old could put me out of commission. I won't say how. All right, so this poem is called Hyperacusis. The word did not exist until 2001. So this is a condition of hearing that is hypersensitivity. You might even say super hearing, but it's pain. It's pain. All right, I have it. It's rare, and it's incurable. It's like you're being Superman and God gives you kryptonite. I've got kryptonite. All right, here's the poem. Apologies to William Wordsworth for this one. I wandered lonely as a cloud, far from the drone of the madding crowd, afraid of the roar that wars so proud, the jeering, jarring, jolting loud. When once I reveled in the sound of music's mirth with trumpets crowned, my ears rise in rebellion now, and naught but quietudes aloud. If but the raucous drum and drill went soft as dancing daffodils. The quiet, where to buy it? How? The noise is agony. I howl, I cringe, I cower, wounded, cowed. Its axiom, exile, crowed aloud. The silence, like the lonely clouds. Some island fit for songs endowed with pianissimos avowed, far from the pain where rings the loud. If but the raucous drum and drill went soft as dancing daffodils. I wrote that when they were working on Route 18 with all those backhoes and those vehicles, and when they backed up, it was beep, 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 beep. If I were within a block of that beeping, I was in trouble. All right, the fall. Is this my last one? Is this last? This is last, at last. Okay, last and least. This is pure doggerel. This is about the accident I had on Ferncliff Steps, February 18th, when I stepped on a patch of ice on the last inches of the porch, going too fast toward the steps. And I fell, and the doctor told me that if I'd rotated just a bit differently, I would have crushed a vertebra and might have become a paraplegic. I was spared. The deep, deep bruise I got was just 2 inches from my spine. I was spared. Okay, so this is, if you can't joke about death, what can you joke about? Right? Okay, so here it is. This is a sensible rhyme. Here it goes. Dr. Curtis trod on the porch. Dr. Curtis tottered and lurched. He flashed through the air. He crashed on the stair. And what did he utter as he utterly fell? What did he utter? I shudder to tell. That ice, did he diss it with curses perverse? That slick where he slipped, lisping curses in verse, foul words ill-pronounced as he fumbled and flounced, as he tumbled and bounced, and was pummeled and trounced as he launched on his lurch. Oh, that's there by that porch was nothing I vouch, but ouch, 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 ouch.